For almost 100 years, there's been this one book that promises to reveal a single, powerful secret to success. A secret that, believe it or not, turned ordinary people into millionaires. We're talking about Napoleon Hill's classic, Think and Grow Rich. So let's dive in and uncover the formula that's captivated millions. Everything, and I mean everything, in this book boils down to this one incredible statement. The idea that every great fortune, every major accomplishment, doesn't start with a pile of cash or the right connections. Nope, it starts with a thought. A single, powerful, invisible idea that, when you learn how to harness it, becomes a real physical thing. Now look, this wasn't just some theory Hill cooked up. He spent over 2 decades, that's a quarter of a century, analyzing the lives of more than 500 of the most successful people of his time. We're talking about titans like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and John D. Rockefeller. They all let him in on their methods. The whole project actually kicked off when the steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, challenged a young Napoleon Hill to figure out this secret and share it with the world. So what exactly is this elusive secret? Well, let's find out. Okay, to really understand this secret, you first have to get your head around the book's most fundamental principle. Thoughts are things. And there is no better story to illustrate this than the incredible true story of a guy named Edwin C. Barnes. So this guy Barnes had one single, all-consuming obsession. He didn't just want a job with the great Thomas Edison. He was absolutely determined to work with him, to become his business partner. Now, he had no money, and he didn't even know Edison personally, but none of that mattered. His desire was crystal clear and absolute. And this is just brilliant. Barnes literally just shows up at Edison's lab looking, as Edison himself put it, like a tramp. But Edison saw right past his clothes. He saw this bulldog determination, a mind that had already decided it was going to succeed. It was Barnes's thought, his unwavering purpose, that got him in the door. Now, this wasn't some get-rich-quick story. No way. For 5 long years, he took a low-paying, unimportant job. But here's the key. In his own mind, he was already Edison's partner, every single minute of every single day. He wasn't just waiting around. He was constantly fueling that definite purpose, just knowing his chance would come. And then it happened. Edison came up with a new device, but his own salespeople thought it was a dud. They said it would never sell. But Barnes, he saw his opening. He knew he could sell it. He told Edison just that. And guess what? He did. That one move launched a partnership that lasted for decades, under the famous slogan, "Made by Edison and installed by Barnes." He had literally thought his way into a fortune. So, what's the big takeaway here? Barnes succeeded because his desire wasn't just some casual wish. Hill identifies this as the very first and most important step to getting rich, something he calls a burning desire. Let's be super clear about the difference. Wishing for money, that's passive. It's just hoping. A burning desire is an active, white-hot, all-consuming obsession. It's when you want something so badly that you are willing to bet your entire future on it, burning all your bridges so there's no retreat. It's either win or perish. To show you the flip side, what happens when that desire just isn't strong enough? The book tells this famous cautionary tale. It's the story of a gold miner named R.U. Darby and his uncle. They struck gold. They hit the jackpot. The early tests showed they had one of the richest mines in all of Colorado. They were thrilled. But then, disaster. The vein of gold ore just disappeared. They kept drilling, desperately trying to find it again, but nothing. So, completely frustrated and defeated, they just quit. They sold all their equipment to a junk man for a few $100 and went home. But the junk man, well, he was a little smarter. He hired a mining engineer who took a look and calculated that the original owners had made a huge mistake. They had stopped drilling just 3 feet from where the gold vein picked right back up. That junk man went on to take millions of dollars from that mine. A massive fortune was lost simply because they quit when success was right there, literally within arm's reach. Okay, so a burning desire is absolutely essential. Got it. But how do you actually channel it? This is where the book gets surprisingly practical and gives you a concrete formula for turning that desire into actual money. Let's break it down. Now look how specific these 6 steps are. Step 1, fix in your mind the exact amount of money. Not a lot of money, an exact number. Vagueness is the enemy. Step 2, decide what you'll give in return. This grounds it in reality. There is no such thing as something for nothing. Step 3, a definite date. This creates urgency. Step 4, a definite plan, and you have to start at once. This builds momentum. And that last step, step 6, that's the real magic. It's about programming your subconscious mind by reading it all out loud, twice a day, and seeing, feeling, and truly believing you already have it. Now, if you do those 6 steps diligently, it leads you straight into the second principle, the thing that acts like a catalyst and makes the whole process ignite: faith. Now, when Hill talks about faith, he's being very specific here. This isn't necessarily about religious faith. It's an unwavering, absolute belief in yourself and your goal. He calls it the head chemist of the mind because it's the secret ingredient that mixes with your thoughts to give them life, power, and action, supercharging them so they can influence your subconscious. And here's the real game changer. This kind of faith isn't something you're just born with. It's a state of mind you can actually cultivate. So how do you do it? Through what Hill calls autosuggestion, which is just a fancy way of saying self-suggestion. It's the simple principle of deliberately feeding your subconscious mind positive, powerful thoughts until it just accepts them as fact and starts acting on them automatically. The book even gives you a literal self-confidence formula as a practical tool. It's a series of affirmations you repeat every day. And this isn't just about wishful thinking. It's a mental workout. By constantly telling yourself that you have the ability and by visualizing the person you want to become, you are actively rewiring your brain to build an unshakable belief in yourself. And ultimately, this all leads to one single powerful conclusion, captured perfectly in these famous lines. The real secret of Think and Grow Rich is that you are in control. Why? Because you have the power to control your thoughts. And your thoughts, when you mix them with a burning desire and unshakable faith, have the power to shape your entire reality. You are the master. And so we end right where Napoleon Hill begins, with the question that sits on the cover of his book. It's the starting line for everything we've just talked about. Because before you can achieve anything at all, you have to answer this with absolute clarity. What is it that you want most?